For me, I was an athlete and I was an undersized running back, so I felt like I had to do more to maintain and sustain in the NFL. And I was constantly working out, whether it was 3 or 4 times a day doing yoga, Pilates, strength and conditioning, track workouts. And I was training 3 or 4 times a day, couldn't take 3 or 4 showers a day. It was just impossible with my schedule. So I wanted to come up with a solution, came up with this shower and the wipe, and it kind of took off from there. I didn't want to be just a football player. The football window is very small. Average player plays about 3 years, if that. And I saw guys like Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson that use their sport to kind of propel them into the next chapter of their life, and that's kind of what I wanted to do.
Justin, the way that athletes do endorsement deals off the field or off the court has really changed. It's no longer the norm that they just appear in an ad and hawk a product. More and more often, they help launch a new business and they have equity in the company. Is that the case here? Did you watch that trend happening? And then I'd also ask, who are the guys that you looked to as examples who have done it right in business after sports in your era?
Yeah, for sure. So, I wanted to be that guy to kind of, start this trend of athletes, really getting into business, and at least in my community. I knew I wanted to be more than a football player. I wanted to chase greatness outside of football. So I wanted to create this, this company where I can really teach people, how to fish. Instead of giving them to fish, because you get a lot of people pulling on you, wanting to do different certain things with you, and yeah, so that's kind of where I came up with it. And great athletes that I looked up to, like I said, Magic Johnson, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Ronnie Lott. Some of those guys were the guys that led the way, and we had a bunch of guys that support this business, former players that I got together with and invested in this company, guys like Steve Smith Sr., Ronnie Lott, Jonathan Stewart, a whole host of guys. So I want to kind of lead this thing, let this company be athletic-driven and athlete-driven.
How hard is it to work with some of these bigger retailers? Target, Amazon, a lot of these bigger companies are putting a lot of pressure on emerging growth companies such as yourself. How is it like dealing with them?
Yeah, no, it's a beast, to say the least. Amazon is, everybody's there. The consumer is there, so you have to be there on that platform. Now we're in Target nationwide in about 2 weeks in sporting goods section, so that's big for us, and it gives the opportunity for us to have a touch point for the consumer to go and buy our product. But it's a lot of work, especially when you're a startup, a small company dealing with these big brands. It can be a beast, so you got to be strategic and make sure you got the right partners to help you, kind of maneuver. Sure.
Okay, this is a strange question. How big is this thing? Like when you unfold it, how many is it one per, you know what I mean?
That's a good question. Yes. So it's all individually wrapped.
Right.
Each wipe is like a disposable washcloth. So just you go home and you got your washcloth size is 9 by 8, and you can be able to wipe down and cleanse off your entire body.
Justin, let me ask you while we have you. We have to get your take on the NFL today, right?
Sure.
Last year we spent the whole season talking about ratings. People were talking about the protests. You've been out, what, 1 season, I think?
Yep,
from playing. And now this year, the story has changed. Ratings are up. A lot of people say, well, that's because they have changed the rules to protect the quarterback more. They're calling roughing the passer much more often. They don't want those star QBs to get hurt. Just when you watch a league now, having, being in that different seat, and you're transitioning to your second life, what's your take on how the league is doing and what's going on kind of off the field too with players?
The league is doing well. I think we're still the best sport to watch on, as far as entertainment. We bring a lot to the table, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. The rules are kind of getting out of hand just a little bit with the protection of the quarterback, but I understand safety is very important. I just did a brain and body scan that the NFL gives for its former players after retirement, just to make sure everything is, the NFL Player Trust actually puts this on. So I understand the safety. It's very important. A lot of guys are suffering right now from, injuries related to the NFL, so we want to make sure they're protected. But some of them, like landing on the quarterback and things like that, can get out of hand a little bit.
All right, Justin, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.